First of all, it's good to see all of you. I think obviously going through the process of getting prepared for this draft, we wanted to obviously get somebody that we felt can help us move forward and become a better team. And collectively as a group, we feel that with drafting Cody, with the 4th pick in the draft, there's a whole lot of excitement in our organization. Fantastic player, and probably a greater guy. So we look forward to working.
Rich, you had said in the past, guys, fans tend to look at mock drafts and things like that, and that's not necessarily the best thing to do. When you look at this draft, Anthony Bennett goes number 1 overall. Nobody really anticipated that happening. Zeller going number 4. How important is it when you find a guy you like to really zero in on that guy and do whatever it takes to get him?
Yeah, I think the mock drafts, I wouldn't necessarily look at them as the gospel. When I was with OKC, nobody expected Russell Westbrook to go number 4. Okay, so when you're looking to build your team, you have to see who the best player you think is going to be for your team. And we're thrilled to have Cody. He might not have been real high on the mock drafts that you're reading, but people forget he was like the preseason #1 picks for the in the preseason. So he's a versatile big. He's 7 foot. He can play inside. He can play outside. I think he's going to be really good for Coach Clifford's system. He's one of the best athletes in the draft. Definitely one of the best bigs, athleticism-wise, to come out in many years. And like I said, we're just thrilled to have him. His work ethic's off the charts. He's competitive. His character's off the charts, and I think he's going to be a great fit here.
You had a choice of Len and Noel and Cody. I mean, what made you go with Zeller?
I think all those attributes that I just talked about, and we just felt he was the best player for this team. For all those reasons.
So at what point in time did you guys make the decision this is our guy? Was it before the workout? Was it during, after the workout? Was it a couple minutes before the pick was made? At what point in time did you make that decision?
Well, we had narrowed it down quite a bit in the days leading up to the draft, and just like every team and every war room, you're just bouncing stuff off until the end. But he was clearly high on our board the whole time leading up to the draft.
Rich, was he number 1 on your board? You said he's the best fit for this team, but was he the number 1 guy on your board when the number 4 pick came up?
Yeah. Yep.
Was he the first person on your board, period?
In terms of overall? I wouldn't say that. I think that he was a guy because we didn't have the number 1 pick.
I just meant in a vacuum. Would you have taken him? Was he the first person in this draft in your mind?
Oh yes. Oh yes. For us, I think we targeted him. We felt very comfortable with him. It's interesting when you make the pick and all of the congratulatory text messages, phone calls you get. I find one really special when Kimba hit me on a text and was saying how happy and ecstatic he was about us drafting Cody. That sends messages throughout our organization, throughout our scouting staff that we made a good pick.
How will he? And I don't mean this in terms of his attributes. I hear all that, but in terms of the team you already have and what you need to address, how does he fit into the Bobcats as we know them at the end of last season?
Well, you look at our roster, you look at some of the needs that Rich and I talked about and some of the weaknesses we needed to address. Cody addresses a lot of those. I think his versatility is going to stand out. The ability to play 4, to play 5. You know, we're running basketball team. I think he fits in with that part. As Rich stated, he has a great work ethic, and so he fits the culture piece for us. You know, he's a young man that went to college for 2 years. Does he have a learning curve? Absolutely, but you can say that about any player that's being drafted tonight. So our coaching staff will work with him long and hard, and we feel very good that this kid is going to be, you know, be a special player.
Rod, you talked about wanting to put on maybe 15, 20 pounds to his frame. Is that something you guys would want to see him bulk up a little bit?
I mean, he's a very athletic player already. He's a very strong player. You see some of the numbers that came out of the Chicago Combine. You know, he tested very well. I don't know. Once we get him here and start working with him, if that's something that he said, I'm not going to sit here and say, no, that's not something we would want him to do. Once he gets with our staff, you know, any player that comes in as a young kid wants to get stronger and probably needs to get stronger, so I'm sure he'll do that with his work ethic.
You mentioned Coach Clifford's system. How much input did he have in this selection?
Yeah, he had quite a bit of input. When you talk to Coach Clifford, you'll realize that how thrilled he is with the selection, with the way Coach Clifford's going to play and run and spread the floor. Cody's going to fit right in.
And I'll also add to that point with Coach and his style of play. I think Cody's ability to possibly become a stretch 4, where he can stretch it to the 3-point line. That's something that he probably wasn't showing in college, but he definitely is showing that ability right now when he worked out for us. And you know, in this day and age, you want and you need a stretch 4. I think he'll evolve into that.
So Cody's ability to run the floor, and with the group of young guys that we have, the young players that we do have, do you think we'll see a new style of play, more tempo, more up and down the floor, to use his ability?
Oh, no question. I mean, that's what we anticipate doing with Coach Clifford's style of play. You know, get up and down. Coach wants to score early in the shot clock. He feels that that's the best time to score against the defense. So, you know, that style of play is going to be implemented.
How does this affect your free agency plans this summer? Does it mean it's a lower priority at the 4 now, just because of Cody?
Yeah, I think, you know, part of our free agency plans were dependent on what we got in the draft, and so we probably won't have as much of a need at the 4 spot. But, you know, we'll always look to improve the team, so, but I think Cody's a great piece to add going forward.
Can you talk about pairing him with another young guy like Biz, and how he can help attribute Biz with stuff that maybe he struggles with?
I mean, if you're talking in particular about Bismack, I think it's a natural fit. It's a great fit because of some of Biz's attributes. I guess his game is more relegated to the paint at this point. So with Cody's ability to get out on the perimeter and shoot the ball, I think they complement each other, to be honest.
Any chance of doing anything in the second round, or y'all just kind of wait and see who doesn't get drafted? And how many guys would you try to sign that don't get drafted tonight?
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, we're monitoring the second round and seeing how that goes. But as far as how many guys we've got a few target lists of guys that possibly won't get drafted for our summer league team.
You said yesterday that you could imagine situations where you could trade up, down, whatever. You know, that you were at least, you know, you'd at least listen to whatever. Did anything you hear sound enticing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We We came close on a few different transactions, you know, but that's part of draft night.
Part of the reason I asked, Rod, is considering the people who were available to you.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought that was a fairly intriguing 4 people who you had to select from. I wondered how much interest there was at that juncture in somebody else wanting the 4th pick.
I mean, you can probably speak to some of the, you know, some of the possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, we had interest in the 4th pick around the league. You know, at the same time, we had some interest in doing some other deals, but you know, at the end of the day, we didn't feel comfortable moving back and losing Cody either. So, you know, our goal was to get Cody, and we're happy to have him.
Seems like you guys really went down to the wire there. I mean, at least observing from our perspective, those second and third picks came down pretty quickly, and at least on ESPN when we were watching it, came down to the wire. Is that accurate?
Say that one more time?
Oh, it seemed like your decision on the number 4, what you're going to do with it, came down to the wire, and then in the final seconds of your time on the clock. Is that accurate?
Yeah, but we were pretty much set on who we were going to pick. Probably right after 3rd pick was taken. I mean, that had no factor. I mean, we're just listening to the noise in the background. We knew who we were going to pick.
Did the phone start ringing off the wall after Porter went?
I wouldn't say it was ringing off the wall, but you know, we had several conversations before the draft and during the draft.
There were several big guys in the draft this year, and several of them were coming off injuries. You got a chance to draft a guy who was healthy, ready to go from day one. Did that play into your decision in any way?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said in some of the pre-draft media, that the injury wouldn't play a part, and we just felt he was the best player for our team.
Anything else for these guys?
A lot of the fans that were at the draft party were quite upset with this pick. What kind of message would you send to the fans that, you know, that are not too happy about the pick of Cody Zeller?
I would ask them to give Cody an opportunity to show that he's a very good player. I would ask that they give the Bobcats an opportunity to help him become a great player. You know, sometimes when you make picks, it's kind of, you know, some people like it and some people don't. We're very excited about our pick.
I would just add to that. I would just, you know, the fans are going to love this guy. Okay, he's first of all, he's a worker, and you're going to see some. Hopefully, you're going to see some beat roll here that I just gave our marketing group that Tom Crean, the head coach at IU, sent us, and you'll see why we chose Cody as the 4th pick. But there's one particular play that kind of exemplifies what Cody's all about. It's there's a play where he dives past half court, knocks the ball loose, and he's past half court, runs back in transition and dunks it. And it just, when you see it, you'll understand why we picked the guy. And like I said, I think the fans are really going to like him.
I know one of the things you're doing on draft day and prior to that is projecting where this player's going to take you. And when you think about this playoff team you're trying to build, talk about the role you see him playing on that team.
You know, we talked about the playoffs, ironically, a few minutes ago before we came up here to meet with all of you, and Coach Clifford was stating, when you're in the playoffs, you need guys like Cody, because you look at the Memphises, you look at the Indianas, you mentioned another team, but in essence, you need bigs who can basically play together. We have just drafted a 7-footer that will fit in with another 7-footer because of his versatility, and as I stated earlier, his ability to play from the perimeter. Coach also stated that Cody probably could be a guy that we can go through our offense with in terms of getting the ball to him at the high post where he can make passes. He can definitely hit the shot. And when you can have a facilitator at the big spot, you only enhance some of your other talents on your team.
Anything else, guys? All right, thank you very much.